Welcome in, everybody. It's another episode of the DNVR Rapids podcast, and it is a loser's lounge. And boy, was it a loser's lounge.
It feels more like a demolishing lounge. Honestly, man.
Honestly, I'm the loser for spending time talking about this game on a Saturday night. Rapids fall 5-1. Tough one. Joining me to break it down.
It was never close.
It's Super Yahir.
How you doing? What's up, peeps? We have 33 people in here. Probably a lot of you guys are waiting for the buffs. Give us a like while you're waiting.
Yeah, if you think this is the Buffs program, hit the thumbs up. It's not the Buffs show, but welcome in. In a game that was never a doubt. I think 8th minute, it was 2-0 Houston. I mean, Drunken Monk says it best. So bad they couldn't even win the spoon because Toronto was somehow worse. Can't believe it, but Toronto loses 0-3 to Red Bull, and man, what a bad loss. Where do you want to start with this, Yaya? Because you can talk. I mean, obviously wing defense, but then you can talk about like kind of why the squad was rotated the way it was, who was playing, what are you playing for? We go big picture.
First of all, this is real quick, Cody. This is not Seattle all over again. Seattle was a season of hope. First game of the year, you thought you could be better. This one, I don't feel anything. It was a bad game all the way around, but we're kind of accustomed by it for the Rapids, honestly.
I think Plum put it best. I mean, this is their worst defensive performance since 6-0 Philly. I mean, it should have been probably 10. I mean, 5 is not representative of how dominant Houston was tonight. No resistance for the Rapids on the outside. Crossers had 5-10 yards at all times to themselves to set up the perfect cross in, and 4 of the 5 goals were crosses to the back, right? Like, like
it's just not a bad team. It really isn't. It's a really bad defensive team. They're gonna need another midfield and maybe 2-3 more defenders, honestly. Like, and I get like Gutman has been doing really good on that left side.
Can't count out Bombi.
Well, I'm still. This is me saying it with counting Bombi in there. Like, this is like me thinking of Bombi. Like, and I'm not saying you need starters, but you need good guys that can be in there and be subbed in there when one of those guys just doesn't have it. And the Rapids just don't even have that kind of in their arsenal. Like, are you really gonna trust Danny? Are you gonna trust Lawless? Like, you've seen them make so many mistakes the last couple of years that you're kind of burnt and you don't know if it's gonna actually happen. And that's why I really do think that you need 2-3 more defenders. You maybe need a midfielder or 2 more.
Yep.
You need about 2 more wingers. Like, this roster should have a big turnover. You're probably gonna need another striker because it's not, and it doesn't look good up there either.
Oh, do we want to go there? Should we go there right now? Why not? Who cares? What are we going to be breaking down the X's and O's from this game? Let's talk big picture, baby.
Hey, give me one, Mitch. I'm gonna let you do a little solo pod because you're delayed a little bit on mine. So give me a quick.
Okay, look, we have. Is it time to have the conversation? Are we having the Rafael Navarro conversation? Because, man, you think you find a guy. We all thought we found the guy. We thought the guy was here. We got the Brazilian 9, the DP9, and you're now he played all 90, so that puts him over 700 minutes. He's played over 700 minutes in the MLS. 1 assist, no goals. And, like, look, if you're playing devil's advocate, which I'll just knock this one out of the way first, who's getting in the ball?
I don't know, man. Tonight, I thought he had a couple opportunities where he could have made a move or two and at least gotten a shot off. And I as much as I wanted to be the guy, man, it just doesn't feel like he is.
You're right. And Juan's right, too. You're right. We didn't think it was, but we all hoped it was. I would say the stoke was high. Correct that the expectations were probably not quite there.
Exactly. I mean,
But the
again,
profile, it was the profile everyone was begging for, right? Like, and big physical 9, goal scorer. I don't think he has it. I don't know. He doesn't put himself in position well enough to, I don't
honestly,
know.
man, he
I don't know
feels
what's
like
missing.
he plays the 10 a lot more than he plays the 9.
You think?
Honestly, like he runs back a lot more. He reminds me so much of Rubio without like that shot that he has, because he's always so back behind that he's never in position to make the right run to get the ball. And to be fair to him, there's a couple of times where I'm like, oh, if he gets the ball there half a second sooner, he might have a clearance to goal. But that's so rare, and I just think that he doesn't have it. He really doesn't, and that's why you get a loan, right? We were all like, just buy a guy, but it's like this is why the loan works for this kind of situation. It's a huge
Sure.
expense, and if it doesn't work, you can just be like, "Sorry, it didn't work," and he's back to Brazil. But if he works in the half of next year, you can just get him for that.
Yeah, I mean, are you writing off next year?
Oh, of course not, because you have to keep him for the half of next year. Like,
Sure, but I mean, what I guess you want to say that he is I still think he's a good prospect. I think there's enough if you dig into kind of his reputation from Brazil, how he played on that promotion side. Obviously, kind of got buried at Palmeiras, which you can't blame him for. I don't know. I'm not out on him next year at all, and I think he should start until he's gone. But man, he has 2 chances for goals, right? Like I don't see it coming this weekend. I mean, or in a week from today against Dallas, and Salt Lake beat the pants off the Rapids twice, 3 times already this year. So like, when's it coming? When's he going to lead that charge? And I guess he doesn't have to lead the charge, because how can you lead from the front without service, without chemistry with anybody, without any passing, like, I don't know. I don't know how to rate him right now.
it's again, and Juaners is right, dude. Like Juaners always has great points. I might as well just send him the link and tell him to hop in.
Send it.
So Juaners, hit me up if you want that link, my guy. Well, it's honestly, it comes down to like, what do you from him? It's like, okay, the service. If you've kind of seen how the Rapids have scored their last goals, it's kind of been set pieces, like, and
Yeah.
that's what the Rapids are known for, like set
Yeah.
pieces and trying to get ahead. And he's not a set piece guy. He's the guy that needs the ball behind the lines as he's trying to make those runs, and there's nobody there that can get him that ball in time. But it also comes down to, hey, if that's not working, try to do something else. I mean, B-Ray was right, 5-1.
Yeah, B-Ray, you nailed it finally, my guy. And I think Juan even hits the point even farther, where it's like, I at a point in the thread tonight, I was like, hey man, I would love to see this game handed over to the to the youngsters, but Bombi's with the Canadian national team, Yappy's with R2. None of the R2 guys are going to be up right now because they're all getting ready for a playoff game tomorrow. And so it's like, even what are you evaluating right now with this team? It's a bunch of vets that know they're not going to be there, that have had a terrible year, that have no confidence, no system. They're just out there getting cardio in at a certain point. And
Yeah,
it sucks because we had 5 games just now where it was like, great, this is fun. There's progress. We see some of these guys making progress. Cole making progress. And it's just such a bummer, man. It is just, Monk with a great point. All the strikers are paying 100K plus per goal, no matter who we're looking at. Yeah, Cabral has what, 2 goals?
how many does Rubio have? 2 as well?
Rubio has 2 goals. Lewis has no goals in MLS. He scored an Open Cup for sure, maybe 1.
He has 1
it's
goal
tough.
in MLS.
It's just it's you hope that these end of season games, when you're out of it, like you have been this whole time, lead to developmental opportunities, and not just, maybe developmental is the wrong word, but that you can evaluate something on the field. This was 90 wasted minutes. What was the point of this?
It's it's
Like,
honestly, yeah, but honestly, let's look at it this way. The what the last 5 games that was against teams that were fighting for a playoff spot, except for New England. New England was the only one that wasn't, right.
yeah.
Out of the last 5, like the other 4 were fighting for a playoff spot. Houston is also playing like incredible right now. Like Juaner,
Yeah,
you're right. Houston is playing incredible. Ben
absolutely.
Olsen has some like completely going. I was completely out on Houston at the beginning of the
Everyone
season.
was out on Ben Olsen. Everyone was out on them.
Yeah,
Not
like
everyone,
and
but a lot.
yeah, and again, New England without their head coach as well. Five, 5 of the last 6 were against teams kind of in the Rapids level,
Oh yeah, for
kind of in
sure. Yeah,
turmoil. Once you get to the higher end teams, you're gonna get this kind of performance over
yeah,
and
because
over
that's who
again.
this is.
And that's where you kind of look at us and say, hey, you know what? This team doesn't have quality. That's where you can look at roster building and said, you know, they might be good for middle of the table if you're lucky, but it's never going to be good enough to win you a supporter shield. It's never going to be good enough to maybe win you an MLS Cup unless you get really damn lucky. And what's the point of playing if you're not playing for championships? And that's what is super frustrating when you look at a squad and when you look at a performance like today. That's what you kind of see. You see that this team doesn't have the level to be a competitive MLS squad day in and day out, and that's what's super frustrating and infuriating when you see how you look at this team is constructed, and you were kind of getting a little bit of hope. But this brings you back to earth, and you
Yeah.
realize, hey, you've seen the bad way more than you've seen the good, and Chris Little can do all the magic he wants. He had these guys wild oil machine after the 20th minute. They were playing a lot better, but the level of talent isn't there for the Rapids to
Oh,
compete for
100%.
anything right now.
And compound the fact that they don't have a good enough roster to compete with the fact that they also don't have nearly enough young guys to say that they're building something, right?
It's infuriating.
Yappy
Like,
has almost 1,000 minutes, no goals. You spend a shitload of money on Cabral, who we haven't even seen in a few weeks. Like, he doesn't feature. He's like, he's not even playing. He's the most expensive player on the team. Cole, I guess, is one of the young guys, even though he's been playing with the squad for so long. He looks okay. But outside of that, what can you point to? You're not developing, and you're nowhere close to even being a halfway decent MLS club right now. Why would someone spend their hard-earned money to come out and watch RSL just destroy them in 2 weeks? What's the point? What are you watching right now?
and again, I'll still give credit where credit is due. Credit to Porek for finding Connor Ronan, which he's had a great season.
He was
Credit
good
to
tonight.
Illich, who has been also a lot better than we anticipated. Maybe not Yarby level, but getting to Yarby level in MLS is really hard. And I think Illich has done a good job for what's in front of him. Good job on getting Gutman on a great deal. But you also have to look at the misses. Giving Maxu that DP deal, maybe not a good player. Should have brought him in. Maybe not to the level he did. Looking at Kevin Cabral, maybe not. That's not the dude. You know what I mean? Like you
He's
should have been
not the
win.
dude.
Keeping
He's certainly not the dude.
and you're still keeping honestly, and you're still keeping guys like in my opinion, who Nicholson has been kind of a black hole for large parts of the
Wow.
season. You're keeping people like Jonathan Lewis, who hasn't even featured, and Priso, who hasn't
Yeah, until
developed.
last. Yeah.
And it doesn't make any sense how you construct this. And Juanes is right. How are you supposed to build for the future without any of this? You know what I mean? How are you supposed to build a future with you have no stability? How are you gonna build up? And Tavares too. He's on COVID protocol right now, but Tavares also doesn't seem like he's
Not
gonna.
COVID. He's not in health and safety.
Oh, well, what is it then?
I don't know.
Oh, just sickness.
It's an
Like
illness. Yeah. I
yeah,
wonder what it is. I mean, I hope it's not something crazy like um
smallpox, the Black Death. He just has the Black Death. He got bit by a Colorado squirrel, and he was
I
like,
was
"Shit,
thinking
I
like
can't get."
mono or something, but
Yeah, I think he has. If he hasn't played, I think it's way worse, man. I think it's like Black Death level, and he's still like recovering.
yeah,
But
that's it
again,
for sure. The plague. Yep. He
but
got the
again,
plague from the prairie dogs.
there's no foundation for this team right now. In my opinion, you have maybe 3 to 4 players that you can build for the future right now on your squad.
Ugh.
And that's like really kind of pushing it. You have like 5 players that you can build a team next year. That's literally
Rough,
kind of
dude.
it. What you're looking at, and like let's count them down in a hand. Like players that you actually trust day in and day out. Who would it be? Bombi, Ronan.
No, Cody, that's not what.
No, again, guys, I'm not a reporter. I'm a dude with the
This was a
podcast. Like,
joke, but it would be funny.
yeah, like it's a complete utter joke. We don't know what's wrong with him. We hope he's okay.
He was not bitten. Well, I mean, as far as we know, um,
Allegedly wasn't bitten. Allegedly.
allegedly,
Yeah.
allegedly.
But again, you count him down. Who is it? Like you build around Ronan. Bassett has been good
I don't
enough.
think you build around Ronan for sure.
No. But that's a guy that you can look for the future and be like, that's a
Right?
piece.
Yes.
Whether it be a
Yes.
rotation guy or whether it be a guy in your starting lineup. You have Bassett. You have Ronan. You
Yeah.
have Bombi. You have Gutman.
Yeah.
That's what 4, and then you can throw in a guy like Maxu. You can and then you can throw in a guy like Keegan maybe, and maybe
Keegan, yeah,
Village.
Maxi, yeah. I mean, when
And
you
that's
look at the
but like
starters
that's
tonight, like I think, I mean, the clear and obvious weakness, and kind of the point I want to get into from this conversation, is what the hell is Sam Nicholson doing starting this game? What is the point? You're telling me you don't want Luis Diaz out there, or Leva, or Ralph, or like anyone who could be showing you something to build around? Sam Nicholson does nothing. That is empty calorie soccer. It is pointless.
he's filling up
It
the
was a
stock,
waste
baby.
of 60 minutes or however long he was out there. And I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. Damn, chat's popping. What's up, everybody? Jim, Cody, Juan, B-Ray, Monk, Dustin, everybody. Just want to see what's good. Thanks for stopping by.
And again, be right. When I say those names, I don't think that's even a core.
No,
I
see,
think
those are the pieces you need to put around a core. So you need to go
exactly.
get the core. Go get the core. You need a 6, you need a striker, and you need another center back.
I said it earlier. You maybe need 3 defenders, 2 midfielders, and 2 wingers, and a striker.
I can't
That's
believe Diaz didn't
7
play
of our
tonight,
players.
Cody.
Yeah,
He's been nice, man. He's been nice on the ball. I don't know. And Lewis is the same thing. Why has he all of a sudden been the sub off the bench? It's like, because Yappy's with R2, and I get it. R2 playoffs. I can't believe I'm about to say this because it kind of goes against how I watch sports. But is the R2 playoff game more important than developing at the first team level at this point?
yeah. Because what the hell are you playing for harder than the first team? Like honestly,
But
because you
what
don't
the
even
hell?
have a coach. You don't even have a coach that can like. Oh, okay. I think having him there in the second team is more worthy because at least he's playing a system that you want the next coach to implement.
Yeah. Yeah, the coach, dude. Now there's another job open. Okay. So of
Let's
the
go
job,
get Wayne Rooney, baby.
I don't want Wayne Rooney.
I want to Man U
I'm
legend.
certain. Look, I love Wayne Rooney. This is not where I want to see him. This is certainly not where I want to see him. It's more likely that Ten Hag gets fired and he ends up there than he ever comes to Commerce City. Look, I mean, I think Wanders is right. When you look at that tonight, there's for some reason in my head, I see a world where Rubio, Navarro, Bassett, Ronan, Harris, maybe find another, but ish kind of type level player. And that back line, replacing Bombi with Lawless, obviously, right? So those 4 across there. That right midfield spot is really just an anchor. That right midfield spot. You need
You can only build on one side,
a
literally.
bridge. You need a bridge on that right side. You need someone over there because that 4-4-2, 4-2-3-1 kind of amorphous thing going on just has a big hole on that side. Huge, big hole.
And you need to be able to build up the wings. And also, Juan, Wayne Rooney failed because Colorado DC was a terrible organization. Same for Colorado. It's not that much
Come on down, baby. There are 9 jobs open in the MLS. Okay.
I mean, the Rapids have a head
Okay,
start.
would you rather? We're gonna play Would You Rather. Would you rather if you are a potential head coach, DC or Colorado?
Potential head coach, DC or Colorado. I think there's a little bit more talent on DC, but I think I'd take Colorado because dealing with that organization is such a shit show. And I don't want to live in DC, man. Honestly.
Yeah.
I think I'd take Colorado in a heartbeat because in Colorado, you have a longer leash to do shit. Wouldn't you?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Other jobs out.
Also, like
Um,
you guys say in DC, like it's very easy to save. Like you don't have a long leash there. Their ownership does. You thought Kroenke don't give a shit. They don't give a shit either. Like they have better facilities, but I
and
think I'd rather.
I mean, way less fans show up to games in DC than in Colorado, for
Yeah,
sure.
there's exactly there's like no pressure in Colorado compared to DC and like everything they do.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, again,
that's a good. I mean, that's a fair point
yeah,
from
you
Jonathan
guys
Monk
are
there for
you
sure.
guys are putting up good points up everywhere. Like I get it,
They have
and they have
Benteke. There it
Benteke.
is. Yep,
Again,
Benteke,
more talent, but like
legend.
if I'm trying to get my bag and not having to worry about the next 3 years guaranteed, Colorado's the perfect place to be.
Man, how rough is it for Porig? Although I don't feel bad for anyone in that position to make those decisions, but um, you have to make a hire to basically save your career in MLS, right? And it happens at the time where the most job openings ever in the MLS are at one time. Like you have, it does not get harder to hire a coach than it does in this cycle. Period.
And the
Period.
thing is, it's such a world sport too. Like you're not just competing now with
Yeah.
you're not just competing with the 9 MLS jobs. You're also competing with all these other jobs around the world that are opening up.
Mini, that's a better job. By for
Yeah,
sure it's a better job.
yeah, dude. Like DC's like
DC's a better job. Mini's a better job. Um, like I don't know. Like it basically has to be the least attractive job, and you're you have entire finalist lists who are probably going to be gone, and then you have to build another list, right? Unless you're going so far outside of the box.
we're getting like a Portuguese Division 3, like Brazilian League 3 coach at this point. And again, this is what I've heard. I've heard like nobody has to believe me. Nobody has to say Yaya knows all this. Like, look at him, insider Yaya. Like, no, this is me. What I've heard.
Insider Yaya.
This is what I've heard and what I've actually. That again, Kroenke is involved, and Kroenke will have a bigger say with this than you
Oh,
guys
for sure.
expect.
That's for
Like,
sure.
it's not because if Kroenke's getting involved, it's because he's trying to make sure Poirier can keep his job.
Yeah.
And again, my sources could be completely wrong, but I've heard that Kroenke's going to be a lot more involved than a lot of people expect because he doesn't believe as much as he used to on Poirier. He wants Poirier to keep his job, and he thinks the best way is by helping him and him being involved.
Yeah.
But if Poirier if this doesn't go right, Poirier is at risk of losing his job.
Yaya has a bridge to sell you after the ad reads, so just hang tight.
I got some beachfront properties out in Arizona if anybody's interested.
He's got beachfront property in Lakewood to sell you. So,
and again, Grant, we're not getting Arteta. Like I wish, dude. I love Arteta.
Man, interesting. Let's see. Let's knock out a couple ad reads here, and then we can kind of get into some flowers, kind of look ahead to this week. Maybe just toss around kind of what we're going to be doing here for the next segment. Let's talk about the homies over at what do you know? Colorado Rapids. Fan appreciation night is 10/21. Tickets are on sale now through October 21st. You get to see FSL come to town. It would be nice to make them lose a game late. Maybe play some spoilers for them. Fan appreciation night. There'll be giveaways, all sorts of stuff like that. And throughout the game, Rapids will be thanking fans for their support with giveaways, celebrations, and more. It's not too late. Secure your ticket now. Head on to coloradorapids.com/DNVR. $5 off tickets to the game. That is coloradorapids.com/DNVR. $5 off tickets.
Honestly,
get in there.
there's no better way to watch a game but drunk at a Rapids game.
Yo, straight up. Straight up. We are also brought to you by Fubo. We love Fubo, Yaya.
Fubo.
You
I
know,
was double screening the show today with the double screening with the Buffs on Fubo, and then I had the the Rapids on as well on my TV.
yeah, Buffs Pac-12 network on Fubo, man.
Yep.
It's perfect. It's like the only one that you can consistently find. It's definitely the only streamer with Pac-12 network. So, or that I've seen. Fubo has Pac-12 network and over 140 total live channels of sports shows, movies, and news. Stream live TV from any device. Watch the most Colorado sports for the lowest price, and you can watch immediately with a free trial. There's no contract or no cable. There's no hassle. You just sign up and start watching. You get 1,000 hours of cloud DVR at no extra charge, and you can watch local teams while traveling. We got college football. We're right in the middle of it. Buffs with a nice win today on Pac-12. You got NFL. Baseball playoffs are going on right now. Dodgers getting smoked by the Diamondbacks. All-City baseball looking good. Looking real good. Let's see. What else? What else can we watch on Fubo?
I've
You a
been
challenge
watching
guy? I've been
through the
watching
end.
the challenge.
You can watch through the end of the Mexican League. If you're keeping up with Chivas and all that drama, it's so fun.
Hell
So
yeah.
it's cool to watch that. Like Liga MX is always really fun. You can watch it there. I think you can watch.
I caught some cholos on Fubo.
Yeah, you can also watch La Liga. So like all my footy guys out there, you can watch it on there. Football's great. No complaints. Dancing with the Stars that I've gotten into lately. Go watch that. That's really fun.
Yeah. Wait, really? That's your show?
Yeah, me and my wife watch it religiously on Tuesdays, and we vote. We do the whole thing.
Whoa. I did
It's
not
fun.
know that about you.
We started last year.
Really? That's
Yeah.
cool. Good for you guys. I like having everything. Right now, for me, it's the reality when you get Survivor into Amazing Race. Boom, boom. Doesn't get better.
That's a really good back-to-back because it's like action-packed, but a different level of action.
I'm a big Survivor head. If you want to get in on the Fubo action, go to www.fubotv.com/DNVR. You sign up and you get 15% off your first month of Fubo Pro through that link, fubotv.com/DNVR. Go check it out. Man, Wanners. Ooh. I support you and I understand. But tough. That's tough. I bet you a lot of people are thinking stuff like that.
I mean, again, and rightfully so. Rightfully.
And look, I'm going to say it over and over, and I'm not trying to sound like an optimist or a homer or carrying water. I just want to see what happens. I want to see the coach hire, right? Now, it's easy to say it's going to be bad, and it's easy to say the window is going to be bad, and they're not going to bring in players or whatever. But until those things happen, I'm going to look at opportunity versus assumed outcome. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Oh, sorry. Hairball. Completely. Like, it's always smart to take a step back and look at everything like a rational adult, like most people should.
Yeah.
But, like, you're doing the smart thing, but it's really hard. And I see both sides. I really do see, like, you stepping back and saying, hey, you know what? Let's see what's going on. Let's see what happens. And then we'll take a decision from there. But it also really does how times like this when you're losing 5-1. And it's not the first blowout you get all year. Like, it's not even the second or third one you see all year. And you're just like, holy crap, man. Like,
look, Houston is really good. They are in about as good a form as you can actually have, right? Like, is there any team in the West going in these playoffs that you're more confident in their run of play right now? Besides St. Louis, I guess.
St. Louis, to me, has teetered off comparatively. Cincinnati
Houston's
has kind
on
of
fire.
Yeah, Houston right now is playing like it's fine. I mean, they were calling it the Orange Machine. Like, the Orange Machine was such a fun thing to be called in Spanish. La Máquina Naranja is like a dope nickname. And I was like, yeah, I mean, like, well-oiled machine, man. They were literally like just demolishing. And that's what I want the Rapids to be, honestly, man. If you don't want to be a tiki-taka team, I get it, but at least be comfortable in small spaces. That's what you see from Houston. Houston gets the ball with a little bit of a, you maybe got a foot each way of space, and
Yeah,
they all completely rounded me, and they can get out of all those spaces. And the Rapids can't do that. That's super
yeah.
frustrating because that's what soccer is. Soccer is being able to take the press, get out of it, and find the right man. And that's one thing that you see a lot with these Rapids players. They get the ball and they panic.
Ronan
There's
looks good with the ball at his feet tonight for sure.
Yeah, and so did
Um,
Bassett. Like the mid, they did have a little better, but it's just not as, it's not as crisp. And
Absolutely.
everybody on that team in Houston has that, and no, and very rare people here in Colorado have it. And that's something that has to be trained into you. And it's also just the quality and how fast you can process the game. And most of these guys have the skill. This is the one thing that I've had a coach tell me. About 80% of players have the same amount of skill, but how fast they can read the game,
I mean, that's all. Yeah, it's
it's
processing
the
speed.
whole difference. If you read it quickly and can get through, like you're in the top half. It's all about how quick you can read the game and get out of it. And the Rapids just don't have a lot of those guys. Rubio also has that a little bit.
Man, I was watching. So I was watching. I was watching soccer from 5:30 this morning. Like I watched so much soccer today. And look, obviously, I'm not going to compare the level of play in the Premier League or Serie A or the Bundesliga to the MLS, but watch even the best MLS games. Turn on any top 5 European league and watch. Count how many times teams put one touches in a row, right? 4, 5, 6. You get 7 one-touch passes in a row with teams, and I don't know if there was a sequence of 3 one-touches, right? Or Rapids too. Good point too. Like, have you seen 3 one-touch passes in a row at ever with this team? Like, there's nothing smooth. There's no reading ahead. Anytime you see it played into space where the player was right playing into that space, you see Sam who ran at the wrong angle because he didn't know where the pass was going to go, or you see someone, you know what I mean? It's just like they are so far below the competitive level that you need the creativity, the vision, the link up play. It has just been terrible. And yes, Cody, United, McTom, a legend, had to get that in tonight. That was dope as hell. DNVR bar went crazy.
I will allow that because it was a cool thing to happen.
It was cool as hell.
Yeah. So, but
It's fun.
again, Rapids, like it's just the talent level's not there, and that's the honest truth. And
It's just
part of
not
it,
there. It's
and
just not.
in a lot of the times, man, I think Frazier did a great job at this. In 2021, you got the best out of every player, and when you when you can't do that, there's the results. And this is literally where you're at right now because the results are, hey, you should be the worst team in all of the league, but you're not just because there was a worse team out in Canada.
It
You
is
are.
funny how much Toronto is spending to be worse than the Rapids. Like it's impressive.
It's also hilarious to me that the Rapids technically still are the worst team in the nation.
Oh, you're right.
It's not the league. And it's true. Like, you know what I mean?
I do. I
Like,
do.
so again, it just comes down to maybe the Rapids just don't have as much talent. And this one of my big frustrations with how the Porg has built this team. Do I think he brought in good pieces? Of course. I'm never gonna tell him, hey, you didn't do anything for this team. But it also comes down to like you just can't bring a few good pieces and then write it out. No, you have to continue to
No.
find those guys. You need to continue to get those pieces. And this is
Yeah.
why I'm a people are gonna either hate me or agree with me with this, and I'm cool with it. But this is why I
Hey,
think Kroenke is a worse owner for the Rapids than Dick Monfort is a worse owner for the Rockies.
I don't know if I can agree with that.
And this is why I'm gonna give you. In this way, I'm gonna explain to you why. AJ, the guy that loves the Rockies, covers the Avs, Colorado sports fan his whole life, put it in a really good way for me. Rockies is a cycle. Every 4 to 5 years, they're good, kind of like the Rapids, right?
No, they're not good.
Decent at least, not horrible, not bad, but at least they get better when they are. But
Sure.
this is the thing: once they have talent, Dick has been willing to invest that money, throw the money at the players. The
Sure.
one thing is that he
Poorly.
doesn't know how to invest that money.
Right.
So it's not that he doesn't want to win, he just doesn't know how. The thing with Kroenke is that he doesn't even care.
Yeah. Yeah. Look,
That's
I'm not trying to. I'm not on here defending Kroenke.
no, and
They're
this is
both
the thing.
awful. They both suck.
But this is the thing in 2021. In 2021, when the Rapids were good, instead of doing the Dick Monfort thing and throwing money at these players and being like, chill with us, he's like, let some of the best players go, and then the Rapids out here struggling, and now you get the
Yeah.
result when you're the
Yeah.
worst team in America.
Yeah. Look, and I mean, I think the biggest problem with the Rapids, and it's what makes Kroenke both good and bad, is that Kroenke has patience, right? Um, it's they are all in on letting whatever office they put together, coaching staff, whatever, play out, right? Like they know that it's not a straight line. Sports is never a linear progression, right? It's up, it's down, it's up, it's down, and they let it play out. And when Porig hasn't earned the benefit of the doubt from fans, from us, from a lot of people, that it's going to. But the problem with KSE is they're, teams are line items for them. So they say, okay, well, we have these guys in charge. They have this long to get it right. Let it play out over time. And, they're in a hole where it's unlikely that it gets turned around in time for them to see that vision out, but it's the most frustrating part, because they're not terrible season, you're gone. Like that's just not how they do it. That's not how they operate. And it's what worked with the Avs and Nuggets and Rams, and it's what has not worked at all for the Rapids.
I mean, it's also worked for Arsenal. Like if we're doing like soccer related shit, because like apparently Juaners hates Rockies, but but like you're right. Like Kroenke's not like that. Kroenke's super patient.
They're so patient. They're so patient.
But it's just so difficult. It's so hard that almost anybody with this the thing. It's been very obvious now that money can really help your team be good.
Yeah.
But it's also, if you go like the people that invest that amount of money also have people that truly, truly care about the team. It's not just about the money. It's about 50% money, 50%. How much do you really care? Look at Chelsea, man. They're investing a bunch of money and they're good, but they're not the amount of money they're spending.
Certainly not good.
And that goes almost for every team in the world, man.
They're definitely not good.
PSG is the exact same way. You know what I mean? Like spend a bunch of money.
I mean,
They don't truly care. Then you look at a team like Brighton, where the guy spends money, or Bloom spends money, but he truly cares because he was a Brighton fan. He grew up in Brighton. He knows everything about that team, and that's where the money mixed in with how much you care really shows.
Yeah.
You need to have at least something that connects you into like how much you love this team, whether it be a front office, somebody that grew up around the team, has been around the team for a long time, or an ownership that wants that. And I think the Rapids don't have neither right now. I think they want the team to be good. I think they want the team to go places and win, but I don't think there's a true love in like I need this. And there has to be something of that in the front office and the ownership somewhere where you can't live without your team being good.
Look, and I think, part of this comes back to the whole identity thing, right? And everyone was kind of harping on how many times the word identity was thrown around in the infamous Porg presser, part 2, where it kept using identity. And it's like, well, what's the identity, right? And it's like
born identity.
It's like, how can not only how can fans not get into it, how can staff get into it, right? How can the front office is not just Wayne and Porig, right? There's 100 people working there, right? How can everyone get behind a club that doesn't feature academy kids, doesn't feature really American stars, doesn't feature Mexican stars, doesn't right? It's a bunch of gambles on Moneyball type moves. It's how can you get behind that? There's nothing to get behind. There's nothing to wave your flag on. They're not a develop and build from the academy team. They're not a buy stars team. They're not a marketing team because there's, Zardes was okay. I mean, you saw him around UC Health, I guess. Like Tim Howard, same thing. But like, it doesn't do it. Like that doesn't lead to championships. It doesn't lead to cultural success. It doesn't lead to a expectation of success and nothing else. It's I don't know. I don't know how they can get into it. I don't know how they can find that passion if you're not building something worth being passionate about. Right now, it's just it's a spreadsheet.
It sucks so much, and it's such a bad thing, man. It's a bad thing for the league too, because Colorado's a great soccer town. You see it every
It
time you have the
is
U.S. games. You see it when there's something excited to be about soccer. Colorado always shows up,
always
and it's again this the frustrating part that soccer is not like every other league in America. You can build your talent. You can rest your laurels on, hey, I'm gonna develop, scout, and develop, and you're not even doing that. That's the frustrating part. There's no identity. There's no direction. It feels like every 4 years we go through a cycle like, oh, we reached our peak and then you're back down. And it's not fun. Like, I want to be consistently good. I want to be
sure.
Portland. I want to be like Seattle. We don't have to spend a bunch of money. I want to be Philly gets thrown out there constantly. I want to be something where everybody around the league looks at my team and it's like, that's a good team. They might have a down year, but they'll bounce right back the next year.
Very
And it doesn't have to be because they're spending money. It could be because they're developing young guys. They're giving you new guys opportunities because they're buying young players that they can show who they are. And it's not even that. And that's the super frustrating part. And you're completely right, Mitch. There's no connect between how much you love the Rapids and how much the community loves the Rapids, how much the fans love the Rapids, and about growing the fan base. Because how much do you really see Rapids? And again, we've talked about this marginalized communities, like in Hispanic communities, Black communities, and Asian communities. It's not a pronounced thing.
No. Can I ask you a question?
What's up?
Can I ask you a question? There's at least two L3 supporters on this pod right now between you and Roners. Does that move the needle for you at all? If they get say they get an L3 starter,
Look,
does that do anything for you as a Rapids fan? Does that make you excited about next season?
This is the thing. As a Rapids fan, I'm already kind of in, so it's kind of hard to get out. But this is the thing. If I tell my brother who likes L3 and watches sports, hey man, you got Andres Guardado coming, he'd be like, oh shit, really? If I tell him, hey man, you got Montes playing here next week, like he's gonna be a Colorado Rapid, he's gonna go buy that jersey. If I tell my mom,
you think that's an instant purchase?
Yes, dude, it really
cool.
is. And like, there's the thing, like that's kind of how I like. My parents would know exactly who I'm talking about. It's not like Diego Rubio. They're like, who?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. They aren't there. I mean, there's no who pushes the Rapids into the national conversation.
It has to be. There's nobody from L3 that pushes them into the national conversation, in my opinion. But there are players.
Okay, well, pushing them into the national conversation is maybe the wrong way to word it.
Yeah.
Who gives them a segment on any of the national MLS pods or shows, or
Memo Ochoa does that.
You know what I mean? Like
Tecatito does that. Marcelo Flores, that just won the Tigres, does that. Diego Lainez does that. You can even go get a foreign player like Gignac, who plays out in Tigres. He's a French guy that loves Mexico. Every Mexican fan loves him.
Hell yeah.
And like, that would be a guy that comes up. Funes Mori, even though half L3 fans hate him, they love him club level. That's a guy that can come in here. Charlie Rodriguez. There's a plenty of guys, I think, that would actually give a good little segment. El Piojo Alvarado is another one. Yeah, Juan says El Tecatito Corona. Like, those are guys that would come in here and completely. Tecatito, in my opinion, Funes Mori, Diego Lainez, and maybe El Piojo Alvarado would be guys that would come in here, make an instant impact, and completely like make every change completely.
It feels like such an obvious move, right? Like, why are you gambling money on being the team that figures it out with Kevin Cabral? and you're not trying to get a Tecatito, right?
Dude,
Like, why? Like, what? Like, I don't get what, because you're not marketable, right? Like, you're not marketable. You're not,
on the coast.
you
You're
know, you're
not a
not
huge city.
right. So how are you not throwing money at guys who are going to bring like guaranteed eyeballs like that? It doesn't make sense to me. And like, I don't want to see another winter of, ooh, what if this guy works? Well, we already know he hasn't. So, like, if it is, I mean, I don't want the confirmation bias of just you and Wanners saying yes. Like,
There's another dude.
maybe
There's
they're
one other
looking at
guy.
for sure.
Alexis Vega is on the way out of Chivas right now.
Ooh.
Like, dude is on the way out. He had all this crazy things going on, but I still think that's a guy that would really bring in. Like,
I guess that just goes to is like, you want to build something, that's where you have to start, right? Like, that's where you got to start. Period. End of. If you're not getting someone that's going to draw in that entire segment of fans that otherwise don't give a shit, what are we doing?
Dude, screw it. Go bring in somebody from a top 5 league, and people are going to be interested, even if it's a lower team in the top 5.
But that's the thing. I don't know if they will.
They won't. But that's what we're talking about. Any of those type of players will give you eyeballs. Benteke came in and gave DC eyeballs. DC gets talked about because of Wayne Rooney and Benteke.
It's funny because Benteke, was kind of like whatever, but and then he comes to the U.S. and is just godding it up with DC. Hey, Oakley, yes, this is Rapids, not Nuggets, but leave a thumbs up before you leave.
Honestly, dude, join me with that. Like, bring in a Mexican player, and I'm all the way in.
Yeah, please.
Like,
Please.
I'm gonna be talking to him. Like, I'm gonna take him to all the taco spots. Like, this is what we do. Like, but I don't understand the hesitance. And it's like, well, the right players. There's the right player. Just because they're Mexican, it doesn't make a difference for the team. But there are really good Mexican players that play in Liga MX that can play here. Cordoba's another midfielder that I would love and play.
My point is, you're spending money. You have some big money contracts, man, in Cabral and Maxu, who, while I'm a little higher on Maxu, I think, than the general feeling, those two guys aren't pulling in fans, right? You are not getting the Denmark bump on Apple views on these games. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not pulling in a big kit sponsor because you have these two guys that don't have a following of their own. It's not like French soccer is tuning in to watch Cabral get 20 minutes against whoever, in a game that is useless basically for the standings. And so I just don't understand why you have so much money wrapped up in guys that aren't Mexican national team guys, U.S. national team guys, whatever. It's mind-boggling. It seems so obvious, and yet the front office wants to zag when the zig works. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's true. If Yarby was, because if you hear the Spanish broadcast, man, they're just like Yarby this. I was
like Yarby.
Yeah, Spanish broadcast. They're like all they talk about is like Yarby and Rubio.
I've listened to the Spanish broadcast, but all it is listening. It's not understanding.
Yeah, no.
It's way too fast for me to hear the word.
Spanish broadcast, dude, is all in on Yarby. All they talk about is Agua Caliente, Yarby, the Mexican Leon champion 2 times.
Cool.
Like, it's cool, dude. They love him. Like, but again, like, he's right. It's not an outfield.
We love Yarby.
Like, yeah, we all love Yarby. He's not an outfield player,
All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the world's quickest flowers and then plugs and getting ready for this week. But first, we're gonna talk about illegal Pete's, baby. We're gonna talk about the queso pen. Yeah. Have you tried the queso pen from Illegal Pete's?
No, I'm mad. I haven't been able to try it.
I'm gonna go pick up another one because I've already gone through one, because it's probably my favorite concentrate cartridge I've had in a long time. And it's not just because of the ad read, it's because it's really good. They partnered with Open, and they put out a really good product. They're both old school Denver brands. They've been connected for over 10 years. They got the opportunity to partner together, and they came up with this great cartridge. They wanted to create an infused queso. Wouldn't that be dope to just grab a jar of infused queso and watch a soccer game and eat snacks and,
queso on queso inception.
Quesoception. but they couldn't figure out the recipe. Hopefully, that's going to be in the works. But the queso pen pairs well with the real Illegal Pete's queso because when you buy one of the cartridges and you bring your box into Illegal Pete's, you get a free small chips and queso. So you're building up an appetite. Here's some free chips and queso. Pretty awesome. Shout out to Illegal Pete's, 28 years in business. Happy hour every day from 3 to 8. Dope patios, cheap margaritas, good tacos. Doesn't get better. Go check out Illegal Pete's. And we couldn't do this whole thing without talking about you guys, the diehards, the DNVR diehards, man. We got to talk about getting your diehard membership with DNVR Sports. All Colorado sports games are at the DNVR bar with game sound. So you come through as a member, you get 15% off your entire bill as a member right there. You get discounts on tickets to tailgates or party buses to tailgates or party buses to games. You get a free shirt when you sign up. You get 20% off merch all the time, 20% off events. You get into the Discord channel. We have exclusive merch that's only available to diehards. You get a physical diehard card. You get newsletters. You get all the content behind the paywall. You get a bunch of good, nuggets are coming up. Adam Mars always does his video breakdowns behind the paywall. Diehard only bonus podcasts are coming soon, and you get discounts from select partners, including a free entree card to Illegal Pete's and much more to come. So go check out that all at the DNVR.com.
Also, if you like little memorabilia, when you become a diehard, you get like a little gold card that says that you're a DNVR diehard, which is really cool.
You're literally a card carrying member of a cult. So welcome aboard.
We're in the sadness segment of the cult, unfortunately. We're the ones that like clean up the cow shit so you can get all the power to the compound.
I've been sending out all the Philly stuff. Philly launched early September. We got all the shirts in yesterday. And we've already shipped out over 250 diehard boxes. They're out in the world. So welcome aboard to them. All right,
also,
let's get
shout
into
out
flowers.
to all those the RD Philly unions beat. Shout out Philly Parcero and Washington. Philly Parcero, dope content creator.
Yeah, he's legit.
I weirdly really like Philly, as Mitch knows.
Oh, I know. You're a big Philly guy. Huge
I
Philly
don't know
guy.
why, but like that dude's a guy that I've been following for a year or two now, and I like him a lot. Mitch has been on his pod.
Yeah, I made him to preview that Philly game last year. And I was like, look, the Rapids might be able to keep it close, and then it was the worst game.
It was them.
Yeah.
All right. So
quick flowers. Go ahead. You're first.
I'm gonna give it a Cole, man. That goal was dope. I can't believe we went through this whole pod talking, and me and Mitch were like, we'll make it into a shorter pod.
But dude, we got going on team building and it was over, bro. It was fucking over.
You brought the two worst guys. Like, but either way, regardless, like I think Cole was dope. Cole was really good. I still really like the way that he's playing as an 8. That's his right position. And that little back heel goal was incredible. Coming down exactly to his foot, man. And then him just being like, I'm just gonna swipe it with my heel real quick.
Come on, bro.
Was one goal. I think that goal should have been worth 5. And in my opinion, it was a tight game.
Hey, I just want to say the Philly Slack, I'm in it as an all-city merch guy, and I made my profile picture, the Jokic headband stat news cartoon, just so they know what's up.
I hate the Sixers. Like, that's the one team I can't support out there. But I like the rest of them. They're not really.
No, look, Cole was great, man. Cole was again. Okay, so the Cole Sansa. Maybe we need to have another. Maybe this is a midweek segment, but man, if you get this Cole from the last 6 games from day one, right? Hopefully a healthy roster around him. Hopefully healthy starters and not all that money on the bench medically. Man, he's like, I mean, I don't want to say all-star because I don't know if he's quite that level, but close.
He can be.
Could be.
He's your Kellen Acosta.
He's dope,
that's
man.
who he is. Like, dude is the one that controls your midfield. You need a 6 that can support him. Like
You
that's
really
the
do.
thing.
You need a stonewall guy in the back who
And I
doesn't
kind of want
take
to see
shit from
Ronan
anybody,
up there
bro.
as a 10 and see if he can
Me
create
too.
something.
Me too.
That's what you got to do. Bring a 6. Tavares was not the guy. I was out on that signing from the beginning. And
I
it's not
will
because
say
he's
though,
not good. It's because I just thought he was the wrong position.
I do like Tavares, but you're right. He's more of an 8, like a box to box, kind of like a Weston McKennie kind of guy. Man, it's Cole's so dope, man. And it sucks that the best version of Cole that we've seen, I don't want to say ever, but as good a form as we've ever seen from him, I think. It sucks that it's this stretch of soccer, right? That it's this season, that it's this team. It's just a bummer. It's a real bummer. He's been great. And if anything comes out of this terrible season, it's that maybe Cole found something to make next season better for him, right? Like,
Silver lining is Cole Bassett.
yeah, 100%.
Cole Silver
If
lining
nothing
Bassett.
else, if nothing else comes, it's interesting when you said like when you're watching that attack tonight. I love Rubio. The only bigger Rubio person is Juan for sure. I love that guy. But when it's Navarro, Rubio, and then you say you throw a Ronan up as a 10, there's just no athleticism in those three. Right? Like
You need a faster 10 too.
you need
Every 10 we've been
you
playing.
need just more physicality, speed, and like Rubio's got enough dog to make up for it, but you can't throw 3 guys out there that have to rely on out dogging. You know what I mean? Like
I think
it's tough.
you really have to go out to, in my opinion, Spain and try to get a 10 because they're technically gifted.
For
That's
sure.
just their style of play in the La Liga, and I think that's what you got to go to. Somebody
Sure.
that's quicker. La Liga's a fast paced league.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody that can really get the ball and control the pace of the game, and that'll be your 10. Like that's I think where you got to go scouting for that.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I'm really excited to talk players as soon as the season's
Oh
over.
yeah, dude. Yeah, we've been like, who are they looking at? Who do we got?
We have ideas, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah,
I want to give one singular flower to Ralph Prizo, who quietly is also another guy who's gotten a Chris Little bump in terms of how he's played. Wasn't perfect tonight, and it's really hard to say anyone was good tonight because pretty much everyone wasn't good. He got that late yellow card, but I thought he's put together enough performances where I'm not out on him as a rotation guy, cup player, substitute, fill in the gaps with an injury kind of guy.
Yeah, I thought Prizo again. Prizo has defensively. I think that dude has been on it all year long. A little reckless at times.
Yeah,
His biggest issue has been his.
almost had a banger of a goal tonight.
Yeah, dude, his decision making has completely improved, and I don't know if it's because they simplified it for him and told him, "Hey, you see open guy, pass open guy," like, and that's it. Like, and I think that's exactly what he needed, just a little change of mentality.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, let's see. Any other flowers you want to give tonight?
Was there anybody else that I really thought? I mean,
I'll take
Gutman,
Gutman maybe.
yeah, that's a
I
guy
thought he was
that
nice.
he was very visible.
It's tough to give flowers to any of the outside backs because of how wide open all the crossers were on 4 of those goals. Basically unchallenged crosses for goals, Tough to give any outside back love, but Gutman's class, man. That was a good move, and he fell out of favor in Atlanta and got to give credit where it's due. That was a good pickup. And
That was a
I'm
great
excited.
pickup.
I'm excited for Gutman Keegan next year for sure.
That, and again, that's why you need a better center backs. I think that's why you need, like, dude gets burned too much as a defender. Offensively, he's crispy. Defensively, he needs to work on something. And hopefully some coaching would help him out a lot there. Maybe some
He looks great when it's 3 back, bro. Ooh, he's a different player when there's 3 back. He's
the 3 back. He's just running wild. He's like, I don't have to track all the way back. I got people helping me.
Honestly, just push him up out and out left midfield. Just have him play that Harris spot. Like
it's not a bad idea. Like, also, dude, like, that's not a horrible idea. But like, it's hard. Like, oh man, it's just so hard because I do love him.
You know who I got flowers for? And they haven't even played yet? R2, baby. R2. hosting semis tomorrow. How do you feel about that game?
I think they're winning it. But again, last time the Rapids had a really good team in any capacity, they lost in the first round.
Fuck, you're right.
So
Damn it.
have the Rapids won a playoff game? Not since 2016.
Yeah. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Didn't
It's
win
tough.
Thanksgiving.
Oh,
That's
trust me,
sad.
we know.
Oh, sad.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
mean,
Any other flowers?
Flower. Again, Chris Little, dude. I still think even though there's a thrashing, I think he's done so much for what
Me
he
too.
has, like for
Me too.
what he has to work with. If he doesn't get this head coaching job, like I get it. Poirier swinging at the fences because he's trying to do something.
Maybe
But
we'll
I
see.
think,
Yeah.
yeah, but I do think Chris Little deserves a lot of credit for everything he's done. And I haven't been able to talk about that because I wasn't on the last show. But I just want to say, dude deserves a bunch of credit. He's
He's
done
been
a
awesome.
lot. He's also given a lot of young players confidence. And you saw it with Ted Anderson, which I was happy with his game. I thought he had a very decent game. Not great, not bad, a very, very decent game where he was just good and bad at the same time. I also want to,
Well, not just that, man. He like Wednesday night, right? Like before the game, before the rain, he's out there shaking hands with the Rapid supporters who made it out to Dallas.
yeah,
When
like,
he comes in to do a press conference, he does a lap around the room, shakes everyone's hand, says thank you. He's an absolute top flight, top class dude. And if he doesn't get this job, which I don't think you would blame Porig for not hiring him, I still think it's a great resume builder for him to prove that in what was a completely dismal season, you had a pretty decent run to end it out. And you say decent considering who you don't have, where you started, like that. Hopefully that bumps him. Maybe he's back running a team in Next Pro, or maybe a team in USL wants to grab him or something like that. So
yeah, he deserves it.
absolutely,
He's proven himself, and I think that to me is
yeah,
the last guy that I want to give props to.
yeah.
Oh, and shout out Emilio
Yo,
on having a kid on announcing that his girl's pregnant, man. Congrats,
good for him,
Emilio. Good for you, man.
Daddy Emilio, man. Good for
Nothing
him.
but best wishes to you, my guy.
Absolutely. All right. What should we look for this week from GNVR Rapids there? Yeah.
A bunch of memes.
Memes?
That's all we're doing this week. No shows, just
Hell
memes.
yeah.
Memes with
Hell
ad
yeah.
reads.
I was born for this, baby. Let's go.
We're still deciding our schedule. We're A
Sure.
couple things are in there right now with so many things. Saturday for sure we won't have a post game, guys, because it got there's a lot of things going on in our personal lives that we won't be able to attend because we thought it was going to be an off day on Saturday.
It's
So,
on me and my wife's anniversary. Dwayne is at the horror festival in Telluride.
yeah,
I
and I
forget
can't
what
do a
you're
show by
doing.
myself. Like,
But you have something too. So
yeah, like
um
we thought it was an off week, guys. We're sorry. Like,
we'll do a midweek to prepare, and we'll do a post game maybe Monday,
yeah,
the week after. Whoops, we'll figure something out. Maybe there'll be some news. Maybe some names will start popping up. Rapids on to the second round of coaching. Maybe we'll talk about that a little bit. But only 2 games left, man. Only 2 games left, and as bad as the season as it's been, I'm gonna be sad when when the season's over and there's no more Pids games. It's still a
yep.
bummer. So let's have fun these last couple weeks. Have fun through the playoffs. We might have some of the Philly homies on or the Chicago homies on. We'll see what we do. And yeah, why don't you go ahead and plug us out of here?
DNV_Rapids on Twitter. Follow us there. We have a lot of fun. It's gonna be a great time no matter what you do and get all the latest information. Keep tuned also because we'll tweet out our schedule there. Follow us all on our personal accounts. Me and Mitch's are right here. Dwayne, you could probably follow us and find a retweet from us. And also, please give us a 5-star review wherever you hear this podcast. This is audio. This is also audio. Give us a thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. We'd really appreciate it. And that's it for me.
Dwayne's having a tough night. He's currently in charge of an 8-year-old slumber party. It's gotta be tough. That's a tough gig. Good luck.
40-year-old
Godspeed.
man.
Good luck and Godspeed, Dwayne. We'll see you next time, buddy. Get your diehard membership. Sign up, subscribe on YouTube. Give us that thumbs up on the way out of here. Get your merch. got a bunch of dope buff stuff. If you're a buffs person right now, we got so much cool stuff. Head on over to DMVR Locker and check it out. And more important than all of that, how we end it every time, baby. Same thing every time. Up the PIDs.